Okay, before I get into the tougher problems, let's just review everything right now. Review everything in about 2 minutes. This is not in your packet, okay? It's not in your packet, but I need you to explain to me, because Hills and SAS cannot be used whenever you feel like it. It's got to be a specific condition. All right, specific condition. Anybody tell me the condition that you can say, oh, I see this type of diagram, I can use Hills and SAS. Explain to me the diagram that needs to be used. Orion, start. The entire diagram needs to be a right triangle with what drawn in? Where's it got to be drawn to? The hypotenuse. We're all good there. It's got to be a right triangle with the altitude drawn to the hypotenuse. Next thing I'm going to ask people with the numbers now. Name the segments up here now. Name the segments. Like SAS and Hills, all the letters represent something. Name the segments up here. Here we go. 28, name 2 segments up here. Is a what? Segment, name another one. Or anything up here. Nice job. Hypotenuse is CB. Okay, next up, name another 2 segments up here. Let's hear from 21. DB is the other segment, and name another one up here. AD is an altitude, and then I just need somebody to name AB and AC for me. 12, name AB and AC. They're both legs. Perfect. Leg. Bless you. Leg, leg. We're all good on naming them. All right, next up before I go on. Hills and SAS. What does each mean? All right, Hills. Let's start with Hills. 23, H in Hills. Hypotenuse, what's the L? Leg, other L? Same leg, because the means are always the same. S, which one? There's 2 of them. Perfect. Any issues there? And then we go to SAS. Here you go, 22. What's the S stand for? A. Same segments are different here. Different. Extremes are different. Means are the same. Basics. All good. Okay, you ready to go here? Because it's not going to be as easy as just find this side and it's a SAS problem, I'm done. Okay, you'll start seeing that it's going to get a little bit more complicated, but as long as you got the basics down, you should be all right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do it. Here we go. Right off the bat, this looks a lot different because now it's 3 sides I need you to find. It's just not, oh, let's find this little segment and we're all done. Okay, now it's X, Y, Z. And we got to determine, I don't know, which one can we find at the beginning? All right, I'm not going to go in order. You know, I'm not going to go X, then Y, then Z. I'm going to find whatever the heck I can right now. Do you see a right triangle in the diagram? Do you see an altitude to the hypotenuse? Got to identify that. So that tells me I can use Hills and SAS. So as a class right now, we have to determine what do I have enough information to find. All right, because look, right off the bat, I'll take the wrong way right now. And I'll say, Y's a what? So ready? I'm going SAS right now. But there's a problem when I do that. Name a segment. 1, what's the altitude? Altitude, what's the other segment? I'm not solving that. You crazy? I'm not trying to solve that with 2 variables. So that's out. There's no chance I'm solving that. So now we have to determine what do I have enough information for? What do you got there, stud? Maybe. Okay, he took away my steam there a little bit. These are all 3 of these are what type of triangles? Right triangles. So you just don't have to go Hill, SAS, Hill, SAS, Hill, SAS. You can also use Pythagorean theorem if you have enough info because they're all right triangles. So do you see right now, we could find altitude Y by doing Pythag on this right triangle here. Everyone see that? So now today we're adding a 3rd option to Hills and SAS, and that's Pythagorean theorem, if you can do it. All right, so let's find Y first. Here we go. So I need somebody to set up what would Pythag look like on this right triangle right now. Sorry. Let's roll. 14. What's it going to look like? Okay, y squared plus 1 squared equals 3 squared. Got it? You guys can go ahead, do the algebra, get the y by itself, and you know what we're leaving it in. Y squared should be equal to what when you move everything over? 17? Just y squared. 8. So then y is equal to the square root of 8, which, again, we're breaking it down. We are going to break it down. And y will be breaking down the square root of 8. What do you got for me? 3? 2 radical 2. So there's y, 2 radical 2. We're all good. All right, let's keep talking. What else can I find now? You got Pythag, you got Hills, you got SAS. Should be able to use something here. What do you got, Orion? Or no? No, I don't want to try. I want to do it. Yes, I can. Okay, yeah, I can. Yeah, so let's find x. Using SAS, yep. Okay, here we go. 25, you're up to fill up this proportion for me. Name a segment. 1, altitude. 2 radical 2, other altitude. 2 radical 2, other segment. Okay. Good thing we have calculators. 2 radical 2 times 2 radical 2. If you're having issues, and anybody having issues doing that in the calculator, should be no big deal. 2 radical 2 times 2 radical 2. It's 27. What do we end up with? What are you typing? What are you doing there to get 4 radical 2? Okay, hey, even, ready? Watch, without a calculator. 2 times 2. Anybody know what happens when you multiply a radical by itself? You get the number underneath the radical. So radical 2 times radical 2. 2, 4 times 2. 8. I feel like we should be sitting on a carpet and I should be having a snack or something. Yeah. 8. All right, and now find z. I think we have 3 different ways you could find z right now. 3 different ways. Anybody want to roll off away here? I could find z. I could do Pythag. Not only on the small triangle, I could also do Pythag on the large triangle. There's 2 ways. What's another way? This is a leg. A leg. What device from yesterday has leg in it? Hills. I could do Hills. Can we make a class decision here? Pythag or Hills? Okay. I'll show you. I'm going to do Pythag right now, just so I can show you something I don't want you to mess up in your calculator. That's the only reason. Otherwise, I'd be doing Hills. Okay? But you guys go ahead, do it anyway, but I need everyone's attention here when we go to the calculator. All right, so let's do Pythag on the small right triangle right here. All right, so what are the legs here? I got 8 squared plus 2 radical 2 squared plus equals z squared. Okay? The only reason I'm doing this now, everyone, pencils down, whatever here, just pay attention. When you do this on the calculator, take a look. I'll do it on mine. Watch what happens. If I do 2 radical 2 squared versus, ready? 2 radical 2 squared. Looks like I should get both the same answer, right? No. Why don't I get the same answer? What am I actually squaring in the first one? Radical 2. What should I be squaring? The whole thing. So I'm just showing you, if you use Pythag, squaring something like 2 radical 2, you better put it in parentheses. All right? Or your calculator will just square the radical and not the entire thing. So this ends up being 8, not 4. And that's 64 equals z squared. Z squared equals, what do I end up, 72 there? And you know what's happening. Break that down for me. Biggest perfect square, 9 is not the biggest, FYI. There's a bigger one that's 9. So break that down for me right now. 27 again. Okay, keep going. Got it. Now, would you have gotten that if you used Hills? Oh, yeah, you would have. Yeah. We all good there. A little tougher now because you got a lot of decisions to make. What can you start with at the beginning? Anything else you want to ask? You're going. All right, let's keep going here. One doesn't make us great. Some of us, we still need to keep going. All right, find x and y. And you're welcome probably for the worst hint ever in mathematics. Think of old stuff to get started. Yep. People are like senior citizens, moldy bread. I don't know where this guy wants me to start. All right, think of old stuff to get started. I don't know. Worst hint ever. All right, well, I got to find x and y, and I notice there's segments. Okay, that still doesn't. Could I do a Hills? Could I do a SAS? Well, let's talk. What's the problem with SAS? There's no altitude. And what's the problem if I bust out Hills? How are you going to tell me what's the length of this entire hypotenuse? X plus y. I'm not dealing with 2 variables. So it looks like Hills and SAS isn't going to help me to get started here, is it? We do have a third way we introduced, Teddy, and what is it? What will Pythag get me here? Explain to your teammates here. What's Pythag going to get you? The full hypotenuse. Everyone see that? In the full right triangle, I can do Pythag to get the hypotenuse, and then I can go to Hills. Good? All right, so 15 squared plus 20 squared equals c squared. Hills, SAS, Pythag. Keep that in your mind today. Hills, SAS, and Pythag. Let's keep this going. $225 plus 400. I got 625. There should be no need to break that down because it's a perfect square. So what is the length of the entire hypotenuse? 29, length of the entire hypotenuse. 25, nice. Okay, so the length of the entire hypotenuse is 25. Now do you see which one can I use now, Hills or SAS? Hills, still can't use SAS. I don't know anything about the altitude. All right, so here you go. Need somebody's help. 17, let's roll. What's the hypotenuse length? 25, give me a leg. Ooh, 15, okay, you're gonna pick that one. Okay, I got it. So you're gonna use 15. He could have also used 20. No, I'm just saying you could have used 20 as well. There's 2 options here. But that's gonna, whatever leg you use is gonna determine what you're about to plug in for S, Teddy. All right, what goes in for this leg? Means are always the same. Now, it chose 15. What segment do I need to plug in now? Y, X, and not Y. It's adjacent to 15. Perfect. Everyone see how we set that one up? It's getting tougher. 25x equals 225. The value of x. What do you got for me? 27? 9. Now we are in honors here. I don't need to do hills again. Can we get right to what y should be? Yep, we already knew the whole hypotenuse is 25. Take a look. Minus the 9. So y will be 16. Now, if you wanted to do hills again, go ahead. You're going to get 16 either way. Whew, we are right there. Stepping it up a bit, and we're still not done. Everyone all right there? It's really just getting started. Hill, SAS, Pythag. Hill, SAS, Pythag. Keep it in your mind. All right, this next one's not too bad. I just want to show you that we could incorporate it into a word problem. Always a great story behind it, I'm sure. Oh, yep, photographer wants to take a picture of the beachfront. Perfect. Camera's got a viewing angle of 90 degrees, and he wants to make sure 2 palm trees located at A and B are in the figure. Got to have the palm trees in there. So he's going to walk out to a walkway that goes over the ocean to get that shot. Daredevil. If the camera is a viewing, what distance on the walkway should he stop to take a photograph? Okay. These are, I'm just going to let you know so there's no argument here. These are, the walkway is perpendicular to the segment formed by A and B. Now, this is not anything, shouldn't be anything challenging. I could have gave this to you yesterday. If I want to find the distance of the walkway he has to go. Everyone see right triangle, altitude drawn to the hypotenuse. Is this going to be a Hills, SAS, or Pythag problem? 6, what do I have enough information to find the walkway? This is SAS, because what's the walkway acting as? Altitude. Done. Here you go. Help me fill it in. 14, help me fill it in. Over. Yep. 90 over x equals x over 40. X squared equals 3,600. How far out does he have to walk on the walkway? 25, you're up. How far? 60 feet. Thank you for attaching units as well. So here's where we've gone. It was a little tough figuring out where to start. Then we use a word problem. Final thing, the algebra becomes a little more difficult. The setting up of Hills and SAS is easy, but the figuring out of the algebra might be a little tough now. All right, that's what we're going to finish class on today. So we've discussed all kinds of problems. All right, let's do this. Solve for x. The setup should be, hey, we should know what to use right away here. This is SAS. Boom, altitude's involved. This should be a SAS problem. Setup, not a big deal. Solving it, another issue. Here we go, 18. Fill it in for me. Thank you. Great job. Okay, let's keep it going. Cross multiply for me, please. Cross multiply. What do I have on each side of the equal sign? Cross multiply. It's 27 on a roll today. Plus is equal to what? 100. All right. We have spent so much darn time on this last unit. This is why. So we don't have to slow things down now. Next step to solving this. 27 again. Here we go. Next step. X squared plus 15x minus 100. equals 0. Again, you want to get out quadratic formula and get after it. That's fine. Because of time and the course we're in, we're going to factor it. Two numbers that you're looking for what now? Two numbers that multiply to negative 100, but will at the same time add to positive 15. Here we go. Get searching. I'm going to call on somebody in a second. Get searching. Don't yell them out. Have people find them on their own, please. That's the only way we're going to get better. Two numbers that multiply to a negative 100 but are 15 apart somehow. When you get it, let me know. 22. When you get it, let me know. -5 plus 20. They add to 15 and multiply to negative 100. My two answers out of here. 6, two answers. Negative 20, positive 5. Anybody want to tell me anything here? Got to reject negative 20 because both cases it's going to leave a negative value for a side. Quick discipline, go back, solve for x. Perfect. I'm done. X is 5. We okay? Just the algebra a little bit more difficult. Last one. All right. Let's talk real quick. Let's first start. Don't yell anything out. Think about it. Hills, SAS, Pythag. Hills, SAS, Pythag. Well, I got the 12 there. The 12 is the what? Altitude. So I'm thinking what? SAS, absolutely. All right, well, I'm going to run into a slight problem, and I'm going to see if you guys can fix it quickly for me. 21, name the segment that's labeled. Okay, name the altitude that's also labeled. 12, and now take a look, everyone. I get to this unlabeled segment. That's got to go into the last part of SAS. I may not label it, but you can. All right, you can label that yourself, not with a different variable. We're keeping this x right now, not with a different variable. Look at these two pieces. The whole hypotenuse is 26. This portion is x. How about the other segment now? 2, other segment. The hypotenuse, 26, minus the other segment, x. Everyone see where we're getting that from? Everything's x now. Perfect. All right, let's cross multiply. 22, need your help. Cross multiply. 12 times 12 here. 144 is equal to, distribute that x. Okay, good. Now, I realize the easy thing to do, the quick thing to do, hey, let's move that 144 over. All right, we talked about this. We're not a big fan of negative x squareds. So let's move it over to make it positive. So x squared, how do I move that should be 26x, sorry. How do I move this 26x over? Minus 26x, and I didn't move the 144, so that stays positive. And yes, because of the time and the level we're at, we are going to try to factor that. Numbers that multiply to what? 144 and add to negative 26. Don't yell it out. Try to find it on your own. Get used to this. Homework tonight, quiz next week. You can use quadratic formula. If you needed to, you can use quadratic formula, store in A, B, C. How about those numbers? 28, when you're ready, let me know those numbers. Negative 18 and negative 8. Bless you. Thank you. Keep going. 2 values of x we get out. 13.
Negative 18. Oh, 18 and 8. Yeah. Yep.
Should I reject either one? They don't give me a negative side length. So it could be 8 or it could be 18. Okay? Could be 8 or it could be 18. We accept both. All good there. Get ready tonight. All right? The biggest part of tonight, it's going to be where the heck do I start? Just keep thinking Hill, SAS, Pythag. Get a book out. Let's get trucking. Please, hey, last thing, please notice the directions on tonight's assignment sheet or the bottom of the packet. Some of them are left in simplest radical form. Some are left to the nearest tenth. Okay, please notice the directions on the problems.